Good morning. Happy Friday. This is a fake live. I made this live last Friday, so you guys get to. I'm just kidding. Happy Monday. Good morning and welcome back to the Dennis Herrera Show. Actually, man, I got some mixed emotions. Mixed emotions here for this Monday today. Very unfortunately, we lost. I know some of you don't like Graham, but we lost Lindsey Graham this weekend. Very sudden. Interesting. We can come up with all sort of theories, about why this happened, but we will never know. I mean, things like this happen. And if anything, it's just a reminder that nobody has life guaranteed forever. We all have an expiration date. And that is a fact. You cannot change it. If there is something that is true, is that we do not live forever. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and play our first clip of the day. We're going to go ahead and play it from Mornings with Maria. And she's going to break it down a little bit for us. I know there's a lot of different videos about it. You're probably already tired of hearing about it, but I think it's okay to cover it here today on Monday with you guys. As you guys can see, you guys have my morning Seattle view. This is the sun coming up in the morning. And if I do lives at night, I will show you the night sky in Seattle. Same photo, different sky. And then you guys can actually enjoy that. I'm thinking about it. It's just, it seems like it's more, a lot more time and a lot less productivity. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. There is a reasoning to the madness here in the Dennis Herrera Show. I want to say thank you guys for being here with me. Don't forget that if you do come into this channel, go ahead and give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And if you are contemplating becoming a member, do so. I appreciate it. One of the downers, you have to understand something. I don't promise. Sometimes I do promise if I can actually deliver. But one thing that you have to understand is sometimes we can make plans in life, and depending on situations, on how things change, those plans may also change. So you guys have been hearing me talk about, well, the members I'm talking about. You guys have been hearing me talking about Starlink, and I was so excited to be able to give you live from anywhere in the world that I went. And turns out, I guess that's not true. Talking with Jerry, real fishy for life. Talking with Jerry, since he's got Starlink, he said that's not possible because it's too slow out in the open. So I was just like, wait a minute, what? And I started reading into it, and they give you like 2 megabytes? Come on, man, that's ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe that information that I was giving was wrong, but I read this off their site, and maybe I misunderstood it. There's a chance. There's a chance that I can misunderstand things as well. But anyways, I don't know. I don't know how else to be able to have connection, internet, so that I can be live on different locations where I go, I just really want to take you with me so that you guys can see what I see. It's one of those things to where, like, when you travel, especially when I travel alone a lot. I wish that I can have somebody there with me so that I can show them, so that they can enjoy the place with me, and it doesn't always happen, but that's just the way the story goes, I guess. Let's take a look here. What do we got? we have like 17 people watching the Dennis Herrera Show so far. It takes a while. It takes about an hour or so before it picks up. So I will tell you this, man. If you are feeling like shit, welcome to the club. If you are feeling stressed out, welcome to the club. If you are feeling depressed about anything, welcome to the club. It is life, my friends. It is life. and we have to deal with it. And you know what? Just take it one step at a time. If I can give you anything today, look at me this morning. Look at me this morning. I'm giving you guys the Dennis Herrera show. Despite everything that's going on, in my life and in the world, to be honest, I watched a video from a Samoan that they actually signed an agreement. Now I don't understand it completely. I don't speak fluent Samoan, so I'm gonna do a little bit more research on this. But I just heard it this morning, so I haven't looked it up. I'll probably look it up while I play the video here. But they signed an agreement. Some Polynesian islands. I don't know if it's Fiji and man, I forget what the other people are. I don't know. I'm thinking about Africa a lot because of a lot of the things that are going on over there. But they signed an agreement to allow China to test their bombs in this particular area, I guess. And they are moving in all the equipment and all these things so that they can test even nuclear bombs. Can you believe that? Now, if I'm going to tell you, if you love, sea life, if you love this planet and you really want to, save it, sea life, etc. I don't like this bullshit of bomb testing sites. I know they use the ocean because it kind of kills the radiation a bit, but still, man, we keep doing all this war preparations and power flexings and this and that, and that's what that kind of gets to me a little bit, is that people don't realize we're about to get screwed. I told you, World War III is inevitable. It really is inevitable, and I was talking to my wife this morning, and I said, you know what? I complain sometimes, about little things that annoy me, and I get stressed and depressed, and I get worried about this and I worry about that. But, if I was in a situation to where, like, I was, being held at gunpoint and being tortured and, going through all this pain and misery, I am very sure that at that moment, I'm going to wish that I was here having the life that I have. It's a fact. And what's sad about it, it's that sometimes it seems like the world is like that. Like the people in the world seems to be like that. And like Ronald Reagan said it before. I mean, a lot of people say it, right? I've said this before many times. But, this country, has become so great. It has become so good for people to live in. It has become so great that the people that move here, the people that are born here, the people that live here, they take it for granted. They don't appreciate it. They're sick of it. There's young people saying, "Oh, I escaped the United States of America." Escaped. Nobody's holding you hostage. Even Bill Maher said, that wall that they're building in the South is not to keep you in. It's not to keep you. It's not to keep you in. It's to keep other people out. You don't have to escape from the United States of America. That's the beauty of it. You can just leave. You're free. Go for it. Go find a country that really loves the people that you like. Let me give you this piece of advice, because it seems like people don't understand this. We tell people all the time, assimilate, 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 and they don't get it. And it doesn't matter what examples we give, they just don't get it. Now, I'm going to give you two scenarios. One of the scenarios is, well, these people hate us, they're envious, and they want to destroy us. Very simple. But the other scenario, which is the one that I question, right, given the facts that saying you are living in this country, we're going to speak specifically about Muslim religious people, right? Think about it. You got all these Iranian, Pakistani, Iraqis, all kinds of sort of Muslim people from the Middle East, right? Check this out. They all come from the Middle East. All these Muslims come from the Middle East. I don't give a shit what country they come from, but their Muslims come in from these countries, right? But the thing is, they're coming in here with a mentality of, my God is an awesome God. He is the only true God. My religion is the only true religion. Is the only spiritual, peaceful, blah. Okay. What's your country like? Is there poverty in your country? Are the people in your country prosperous? How are you living? Are you free? Are the rules that you live by, have they worked out for you? Have they made you more prosperous? Have they made you advance into a greater civilization? Or are you stuck at the mediocre civilization? Think about that. Are the streets better? Are the buildings better? Is business good? What kind of life do you have? If you're a happy Muslim worshiping a real God, tell me, how great is your country? There is no proof at all that your country is great at all. And that's a country that worships a fake God named Allah. Why is it that you have to come here to a Christian country to claim that Allah is the Almighty? Yeah, right. You came to a country where we were founded under God, Christian Judaism values. Our moral compass comes from God, the creator of the universe, of the earth. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That is the God that I believe in, and any Christian out there that calls themselves Christians, only the real Christians. There's a lot of fake Christians out there. You guys are going to hell, by the way, if you don't repent. All the Christians, real Christians, worship that same God. And if you didn't know that was the God that we worship, well, now you know. But the point is, we are here. We love it. 250 years. 250 years old. And we are the greatest nation in the world because we trust in God. We put it in a coin. We don't play around. In God we trust. Boom, economy going up. Boom, 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 technology is going up. Knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. Power, knowledge, power. 250 years. A nation declared a constitution under God. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I have to keep repeating that because there's a big point on that. There is a big point in that. And whether people like it or not is irrelevant. You know, if you don't like what I say, it is what it is. I understand. I understand. But the facts are the facts. This is a Christian nation. The majority of the people are Christian. It doesn't matter what you think. If you think you're perfect or imperfect Christians, it doesn't matter. We don't give a shit what you think. But the fact remains. All the Muslims who claim to have a real God, they abandon their countries. They abandon their place where they say Allah is real. They abandon the place where they use all these rules that they hate. They abandon these places because they're not free, and they know it. They come to the United States of America because this is a great country. This is a fantastic country. Everybody knows this. Do we have dumbass people in it? Yeah, absolutely. We have the people that we call the LGBTQ. Most retarded people that we have in this country. It is what it is. Even gays are against the LGBTQ. Well, gays with some common sense. You have to understand sexual preference. That's your prerogative. That's what you want. But gays are not retarded. LGBTQ people are fucking mental. That's a problem. And sometimes the evil side of me says, you know what? Let's allow Islam. Let's allow Islam 100%. And let's take him to the park where all the LGBTQ gather together. See what happens. Just to see what happens. That's just the bad side of me that thinks that. But the common sense, good side of me says that religion is evil. It's demonic. Just like this piece of shit's satanic churches. I can't believe this. Freedom of religion, and fucking people never understood really what that means. I don't think our founding fathers said, you know what, Baptists, yeah, they're all right. They're pretty good people. Yeah. Buddhists, well, they're peaceful. They're peaceful. They're peaceful. Yeah. Any other religion out there, yeah, okay. Maybe it's a fake religion, but it's okay. They're not trying to harm our country. Freedom of religion. What did they want with that? Do you think that they wanted satanical churches? Wait, just think about it for a second. Freedom of religion to me attains to any religion that wants to bring peace. Any religion that doesn't cause harm to our country. Those are the religions that should be free. Satanical religions, churches, well, they shouldn't be allowed. They shouldn't be allowed. They're evil. They show the next generation that evil is good. That crime is good. They teach them that Lucifer is actually the good guy. Can you believe that? Yeah, if I argue with them and I debate them with, where their satanical church comes from, and I'll destroy them. Because it's all founded on a lie. It's founded on their evil, and I will destroy that. Well, the Holy Spirit will, I will just be the tool that they use. Muslims, death to America. Tell me you see nothing wrong with that. I condemn fake Christians. I condemn evil Christians. I condemn evil and violent Christians. The Muslims that we have here, they can't condemn them. The Quran tells them they'll become infidels and just as bad as we are. What they don't realize is that they will allow them to say that they're Muslims, even though nobody can ever be Muslim. Nobody can ever be Jew just by being a Zionist. That doesn't make you a Jew. You can never be a Muslim. Period. You have to be a descendant of Ishmael in order for you to be Muslim. I don't know when they changed this, but this is the way that it's always been. Ever since I knew anything about religion, when I was a kid, you cannot be a Muslim. You just can't be a Muslim. You got to be born from the descendancy of Muslims. That's not really descendancy of Muslims. Descendancy of Ishmael. But that's where the Islam comes from. That's where Muslims come from. That's the descendancy of the sons of Abraham. This is where the Muslims claim to be sons of Abraham. And we are not sons of Abraham as Christians. And neither is a non-Ishmael descendant. All of these Africans out there that have no descendancy to Ismail, they're not Muslims. Filipinos are not Muslims. All you fake-ass infidel Muslims, you will never, ever be Muslims, period. And you should be happy for that. You should be happy for that. You can renounce and say, oh, shit, I guess I never was a Muslim, so I don't have to get killed now when I say that I'm not a Muslim. See, you're free. You're welcome. I just gave you your freedom. Now they don't have to kill you when you renounce to Muslimhood, to Islam. Man, that's not the way to start the day. I always want to start the day by saying hello to my brothers and sisters, my patriots. Robert Maga. Good morning, sir. Thank you for being here. You're the first one here today. A Green Substance stopped by, put their stamp on there. Ender is over there just enjoying whatever he can from the UK because, man, they got some serious problems over there. I'm sure there's some places where they probably don't feel it, but the places where they're very popular, I think that's probably where they're going to feel it the worst. Let's see. We got Don. Good morning, brother. I know you coming back here today. I don't know if you can hear this live because I know you had to take a flight, but yes, I am waiting for you to get back, and we got to do something here very soon. I think this weekend coming up, though, I am planning on making a trip to go visit Rush Babe and her family on Eastern Washington. So we'll see. We'll see how this weekend goes, depending on how I feel. Maybe I can take a few extra hours of drive or whatever. But it's a very long drive. It's about 5.5 hours, 5.5 to 6 hours from where I am, I think. And that's just one way. So that's a lot of driving. It's a lot of driving. But I really want to go and say hello to her family. And I appreciate her for, supporting me here in Washington State. And we have Brian Waza. How are you, brother, man? Good to see you in here. Happy Mac, good to see you again. Excuse me. And let's see what else we got. Jason Martin just renewed third month of Superstar. Good job, bro. Appreciate you, man. Let's see what else we got in here. Anybody else? Sergeant Zero Hood, good to see you on here. Welcome, sir. Always good to see you guys here. Love to see very familiar names, especially the ones that support me. Trolls, I'm not very happy to see them, but, I hope that when they do come one day, they are different and changed. Hopefully, this will happen someday. Let's see. Mary says, I convince anything that is evil should be destroyed. Yeah. You guys been listening. I appreciate that. The Mima says it's good job to judge, not ours. What? It's God's job to judge, not ours. No, me, man. This is something that people don't have. You guys got to read the Bible, man. You guys got to, but don't just read it. Pray. Pray before you read the Bible and ask God to enlighten you, to give you the wisdom to understand it. The Bible says not to judge, not to falsely judge, because you will be judged with the same measure that you judge. Instead, judge righteously. The Bible doesn't say we don't judge. Of course we judge. Now, we don't judge or we don't condemn people to hell, but they are judged by the Bible, by the Word of God, that they are going to hell. We are going to hell if we don't repent from our wickedness. That's just very simple. You got to be able to judge. You can't just go without judging. You judge everything. Like, how far do I have to jump from here to there? Well, I got to judge the distance. I got to measure this. I got to judge if I can make this or not make this. I got to be able to judge. That's just a word. To decide, to be able to just use your critical thinking. Just you listen. If you don't look at yourself that you're dressing really bad, you got to judge yourself. If you stink, you got to be able to judge yourself. You got to be able to tell yourself that you stink. Otherwise, you're going to continue to stink, and people are going to be making fun of you and just going to be. They don't want to be around you. You know what I'm saying? That's you got to be careful with that. Let's see. I bet with all the money they give to illegals is more than enough to house all the legal homeless citizens. Man, I tell you, man, this whole argument that say that illegals help the economy so much. The illegals give so much to this country. I think that's got to be like the stupidest thing that I ever heard. That's got to be the stupidest thing. Listen, in some way there is a benefit, right, to anybody working, paying taxes, if they pay taxes. But tell me, what is the benefit when you have illegal immigrants working under the table, those who don't pay taxes? You say they support, somebody mentioned up some $350 billion is what illegal immigrants poured into this country. Really? And they say they don't pay taxes, or they pay taxes, but somehow they don't get tax refunds if they overpay. Well, where do you draw the line? Where does your confusion end? It just doesn't make sense. But anywho, let's say you got all these people. You got all these people that come in here. Do you think that anybody that is here illegally, do you think they're going to care when they use a fake name? Fake everything. They go and get an ITN number from the IRS so that they can start a business. They go and they make these taco trucks. Allegedly, they go and get these taco trucks, right? They buy the meat, they got all the sodas and everything. They go to Costco, right? And they buy the 32 pack of Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Coke and Sprite, and you get this, you get all these things like 30 cents a can or something like that, right? They go and buy all of this stuff. And then, of course, they gotta show, they gotta pay the sales tax that the customers pay. Oh my God, it's so easy to cheat. Here's the thing: if you come, let's say I have a food truck. First of all, I gotta have a license, right? I gotta have a license. Listen, this is what happened in Minnesota. This is what happens everywhere. Look at this. So I got a license from the Department of Revenue, right? I got a business license. I went and got some insurance, on $1 million insurance, very cheap, and I got this ITN number, right? Because my name today is Pedro Gonzalez. That's my name, Pedro Gonzalez. And my social security, it's 747-28-4746, And I go and I get this business. I get this taco truck. Police comes over and the city comes in and say, hey, you know what? I need a permit to this. And I go, oh, here you go. Here's my license. Here's my insurance. Here's my permit. Here's my, ID, blah, 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 But I'm not the owner. That's somebody else. My name is this, and here's my ID. You see what I'm saying? And so they go about it. They go and sell business. You go in there and boom, $3.50 a taco. Little tiny tacos. $3.50 taco. Okay, boom, you give them $12. Here you go, $12. Would you like a receipt? Sure. And they print you this receipt that will never be counted again. These people don't pay taxes. They will milk that license until they have to get a different license. And all they do is change the name of the business. So out of all the food that they sell, practically tax-free. Employment, tax-free. How many food trucks you got out there that are legit? How many restaurants are out there that are legit? You hire illegal immigrants. You don't take taxes from them because they're illegal, so they will find out Once they start using a social security number, it's not theirs. The government is going to find out that they're illegal, and they're going to come and get them at their business, at their place of work. That's just how it is. That is the law. You don't need a warrant for that. It's a warrantless thing. You don't need a warrant. If you are illegal, you don't. Federal agents don't need a warrant. If you are illegal, they know that you're using a fake social security number. Even if you say you're paying taxes, the first question is going to be to you: how are you paying taxes when you don't work? And if you say that you work, you're committing a felony. Because if you work without permit and you're a foreigner, that is a felony. And it is means for you to be expelled from this country. And if you come back, it's another felony, and then they'll put your ass in jail, give you your due process, put your ass in jail, and when you finish with that sentence, you will get deported. I mean, man, there's so much information that people just skip. And then I'm sure that somebody's going to hear that and be like, oh, that's a lie. That's a lie. Lie. Man, it is what it is. Who else do we have on here? Conrad says, Conrad Jury. Man, let's see. What is this? Most of the time, it's atheists using religion as a weapon when they don't even believe anything. Yeah. Yep, I agree with that. I can see that. Rick says that God is spirit and his word is spirit. God is... don't get too confused with who God is. But if we need to touch on that, we will. But don't get too confused, okay? Jesus never founded a state-run religion. Yeah, that's true. That's a man-made doctrine. But it's solid. It's on the gospel, the good news gospel. Let's see, what else we got here? Green Substance is prepping for Somalian pirate raids. Man, I'm telling you, man, it is crazy. Listen, we have good and bad people everywhere. We have drug problems. We have religion problems. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of problems that every nation has to deal with. We got to stay true, man, on what we believe in. You know, society, we have lived in a society that has thrived where others have failed. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to judge that way, okay? You got to judge this country. All right, so you got all these religions everywhere. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. What has happened with the Buddha? People still worship Buddha. Why? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that people still worship Buddha? All right, let's put that on the back burner. It's for the same reason that they worship Allah. Why do Muslims believe Allah is a real God? Well, they don't really believe it, but they tell you. Put that on the side burner, right next to the Buddha. Any religion, and I repeat, any religion that any country has been the majority of is in ruins, or is a third world country, or is a country developed, run by damn communists. It's a fact. Let's take our Christian nations. The UK, Europe, Christian. America, Christian. Canadians, Christian. Mexico, all of the Americas, Christians. And what has happened to all of the Christian countries? The moment that they turn their back away from God, violence, corruption multiplies across the nations like a cancer that can't be stopped. Sorry, my nose itches today. My nose itches every day, but I don't do drugs. Just so you know. It is crazy that the countries who we dominate want to tell us what to worship and how to live. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Like, you have all these countries, all these people from all these countries, they come over here and try to tell us how to live. They try to tell us, listen. I'm going to tell you something, man. As I was growing up, I always had these people that will always come to me and tell me about prosperity, Christians, about prosperity. Oh, and God this and God that and God this and God that. And I'm just like, bro, you're homeless. You're homeless. What do you got to show for? Why you try to make it sound like you're this holy, righteous person? You're homeless. You lost your family. How do you get to go out there and claim that this is a great God? How can I believe that God is great when a loser, a person that doesn't practice what they preach, is telling me that this is how great it is to be Christian? Now, I want to give you an example of what I mean, because if you live that way and that's the way you choose, that's on you. But you can't go and preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. You just go and confuse people. You become an obstacle. When I was homeless, living in my car, I didn't go preaching to people and say, oh, if you believe in God, He's going to bless you. What fruits do I have? None. Oh, if you do this and you do that, everything will go right in your life. What do I got? Homeless in my car. Well, if you do this and you shut the hell up, will you? Just live your fucking life and shut up. But one day somebody asked me, why are you so happy? Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, it's true. Lost my family. Yeah, it's true. I'm homeless. Yeah, it's true. Trying to do whatever I can for work to make ends meet. Trying to buy some food. But you know what? I am very happy inside. Because despite of all my misfortunes, despite of all my bad decisions, despite all the consequences from my actions and some that were out of my control, despite of all the bad things that the world throws at me, I'm happy because Jesus Christ is in my heart. And that's a big difference. That's a different way of living. You see what I'm saying? You can't go out there and try to, tell people how to live if you have nothing to show for. Daily Trump counter is 921 days. Oh, no. We're running out of time. Oh, man. Is it 900? Is it 900? 2.5 years? Yeah. 6, 7, 730. Yeah, that's probably about right. I'm not counting, but that sounds about right. Somewhere in there. So, hey, listen. That's just the way I think, man. That's just the way that I see things. All I know is, in this world, there are makers and there is takers. Settlers and migrants. This is the same thing. Same thing. Settlers, makers, migrants, takers. I think, well, what was it? I think it was Ben Shapiro one time. Here comes this guy, and he's trying to talk about how unfair capitalism is and how companies take money away from the from the people. And the guy goes, "Say you have," he says, "Say you have all this wood and the razors and all these other materials, right, to make pencils. Uh, but we are the ones, the laborers or something like that. We are the ones that put the graphite in the pencil, and we're the one that put it all together. So without us, the laborers, your company would be nothing." So they believe this argument is that we deserve better pay, better wages. We deserve to get the greatest pay, and that it's very unfair that the owner is getting all these extra benefits. And Ben Shapiro starts throwing down the facts, and he says, "Well, who do you think actually is going to put all the money to put the manufacturer down? Who's going to pay the hundreds of thousands of dollars for the equipment to be able to make the materials to the things that where you can put them together? Who's going to pay for this, and who's going to pay for that, and who's going to pay for the insurance for the employees and this and that? And all you do is stick a little graphite in a piece of wood. What value does that bring?" You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I'm going to try to find that little clip so I can play it for you guys, okay? But it makes total sense to me, and that's just how people are, you know? They don't think about all the things that a business owner has to do in order to stay afloat. You know, the whole purpose of you having the freedom to create your own business is so that you can create financial freedom. Come on, you don't want to make money just to live until the last breath, until you die. That's not the American dream. No, the American dream is create as much wealth as you can, as fast as you can, so that you can retire as young as you can, so that you can enjoy your time with your family. Life was not meant for the husband and wife to work double time. You know what I'm saying? It was not meant for that. It used to be meant that the man works for the family and then the wife stays home with the kids. Fantastic. Then the economy starts going bad. So now the husband has to work extra. But that creates problems in the marriage because now he doesn't have enough time to spend with his wife and his kids. So what does that happen? So the husband takes a full-time job, good paying job. The wife has to get a job. She has to make full-time job. And then now nobody spends time with the kids. Nobody is actually spending time with each other, because they have to both work. And then financial situations happens to where the economy gets worse, and well, now they both have to work extra time. Now they really have nothing for. They have no family. They have no husband and wife. They get divorced. Everybody gets separated. Everybody goes crazy for their money. Nobody gives a shit about that. All the takers do is want more, and more. They don't think about going out there and doing something for themselves. They don't think about going out there and say, hey, listen, I can afford to have this life, so I'm going to live this life, you know, and if I want more, then I'm going to go and work more. But what is more important to you? Your family or money? So here it is. This is where we fight. Stop raising taxes. Stop making living unaffordable. Stop making us work so damn much for something that we don't have to. I heard on the lately there's this a grocery store or something like that. It's called Aldi. I don't know if you know who that is. Aldi. It's a German store, I think. And here, let me take a look. Let me see if I can find it here. Aldi. From the Albert family heirs, Aldi Discount Super is a supermarket empire and the Trader Joe's chain. Controls a massive fortune. The two branches of the family hold a combined estimated net worth exceeding $35 billion, though the wealth is split between the separate family branches. Why do I bring this up? First of all, this is supermarkets that don't require you to have a membership, like Costco, okay? Grocery stores are always more expensive than Costco, Sam's Club, etc. but they have memberships that you have to pay, right? But they do give you cheaper prices for product, right? Quantity. Aldi stores, they actually are making stores in New York. Can you imagine this? In New York, like they haven't been hearing all the bad news. In New York, they're making these stores. Now, what's crazy? Now, I don't know how long they can last, but what's crazy is that they are able to give people cheaper prices. So it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. So, what is the cause of high prices? Think about this. I like how libtards are automatically going to be excited about it. Be like, we told you. Yeah, New York is making money. Here is the catch. You ready? They have lower, cheaper prices. New Yorkers love it. Must be good. But what does that tell you? Let's see if we can get some opinions on here. Let me, I was going to make a new way to put my phone number down. Let me go ahead and open up the lines here for you guys, okay? Let me open up the lines, put it away from my Seattle thing in there. Let's see if you can see that phone number. Call me in. I want some opinions on this. Let's talk about it. I really want some opinions on this. Four two 583-1155. Call me in. We're going to talk about New York and tell me what you think. Have you heard about Aldi supermarkets? And if you have, what do you think about it? Call me in and give me your opinion. Bust a move. How you doing, brother? Good to see you on here. While you guys make up your mind to call me, I'm going to get my coffee mix ready. I had some orange juice today with a small breakfast sandwich, so I don't like to mix orange juice with coffee right away. It makes my stomach hurt. All right, I turned the ringer on just in case you call. All right, the question is, have you heard about Aldi supermarkets in New York? And what do you think about it? Okay, that's the question. Come on, baby, and do the twist. Don't worry, I'm going to play that clip about our good friend Lindsey Graham passing, but let's get something going here on this show. Have you heard about the Aldi supermarkets in New York, and what do you think about it? Get a little bit of mushroom coffee. Yeah. And then my 5 scoops. I consider this to be a shot, but it's not. It's just 5 scoops of coffee. I don't feel safe at Aldi. There's nothing wrong with Aldi, but no, it's a serious question, guys. What a fucking Swiss! You're a fucking loser, bro. What a fucking loser. This guy didn't even hear the question. What are we talking about right now? We're talking about Aldi supermarkets in New York. Have you heard about them? And if you have, what do you think about it? Give me a call. Let's talk. You made me lose track of how much coffee I put in here. Lucky for me, I know where the line is on my filter. All right, that should be good enough. I think I put 6. I think I lost track. Not enough. I know you pitch in for a lot of the on the coffee fund, but not enough to be using 6 scoops daily. Now, I also use some creamer. Now, the creamer that I use, without advertising too much, it's 0 sugar. So they say. All right. Hopefully that is enough. Hopefully that's enough. If not, I always add a little bit more if I need to. But wow, nobody's heard of Aldi supermarkets? Come on, guys. Come on. No sprinkles and fudge. None of that. None of that. I only go as far as adding creamer to my coffee. Have you heard of Aldi supermarkets in New York? If you have, what do you think about it? Give me a call. 425-583-1155. Come on, guys. You can do it. You can do it. They say that these Aldi supermarkets are a lot cheaper than any other supermarkets in New York. Even cheaper. Yeah, even cheaper than Walmart. That's fantastic. Have you heard about this? What do you think? No, there's no issue at all. There's no issue at all with Aldi. I'm asking what the fuck? I'm asking a real question here. Have you heard about Aldi supermarkets in New York? And if you have, what do you think? It's a serious, a real question, guys. Don't get all defensive. You gotta be attacked to be defensive. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Randy says people flood Aldi on the East Coast due to the high grocery prices everywhere else. Okay, there you go. There you go. So what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? I want somebody to I want to see how somebody thinks besides me. How you think about this? What Randy said. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pin your comment, Randy. Good job. I'm going to pin your comment. So Randy says, people flood Aldi on the East Coast due to the high grocery prices everywhere else. Come on. You can do it. Well, Roy says that it's bad when you have to pack your own groceries and you're old. Yeah, okay. That's something that's happened even on the expensive groceries. They don't really pack your groceries in the bags anymore. You have to do it yourself. But I think that they should accommodate that and help people that need help packing the groceries. Competition lowers prices. So the Rush Babe. So what's happening? Martin, what the fuck? This guy. And get him out of here. Y fuera. Anyway, Rush, what we're talking about, there's some Aldi brand. It's a German brand. Aldi supermarkets in New York that are just selling everything cheap, affordable. You know what I'm saying? And so I want people to, weigh in on this. What do they think about it? Is it a great thing? How is this possible? How is this possible? That's what I want to go on. Too many people here that are not that are on the left. They're really skeptical about answering this very simple question. They already know. They already know about the Dennis Herrera show. You guys are getting smarter by the day. Nobody, you're a witness. Nobody wants to call in and talk to me about the Aldi market. You guys are getting smarter, that's for sure. Libby, yeah. Other stores, price fix, yeah. The price gouge is one of them, but there's more than that. People that have come through my channel, they already know why I'm asking this question. You have to understand something, man. People have complained like crazy. Oh, man. Let's see. What else we got? What else we got before I say anything else? Let's see. Jason says Central Market and Costco are the same way. No big deal. Yeah, but they have memberships. They got memberships. This store is just a regular supermarket with more affordable prices than any other market in New York. Let's see. Sometimes it's the only access that people get to get their own groceries. That's true. They sell everything off the floor out of boxes. It is ridiculous. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess they're cutting on some cost, right? I get it. But, I mean, people seem to go nuts for it. They really love it. So we can't really, complain on that. It's a good thing. People love it. The fact is that they're getting cheaper prices. That's what people want. Yeah. Scott, how are you? No Aldi in Canada. He says Canadians are smarter than that. Hey, man, nothing wrong with the company, bro. If they're doing a good job, more power to them. I 100% support the Aldi supermarkets. Even in New York. It will eventually come and bite them in the ass, but I support it. They're doing a good thing. They're giving good pricing to people. Aldi supermarkets, man, this is a big-ass fucking advertisement for Aldi markets, and they don't give me shit. Not even a free soda. All right, here we go. Carrie's going in with some Trump stuff. Hold on. Let me see. Let me catch up to the comments here. I'm trying to give you guys a chance, man. I'm giving my phone number there. You guys can call in and talk about it. Let's see. Trump to remove police and emergency services if some states don't comply. Which is, he means which is fucked up thinking. He wants to monitor voting. Can you say communism? That's not communism, you fucking moron. Oh, Carrie, you are today's victim. You are the first moron of the day. That's what you got from all of it? That's what you got from everything that's going on? You're going to tell me that's really what you got out of everything that's going on? You came up with the perfect idea of saying that Trump is a communist? Oh, man. How sad. How sad. It really is sad that people like this exist in our country. And the worst thing is that they're multiplying. That's the worst thing. Hold on. I'm just trying to get my other app here. That is the sad thing, that people actually multiply with this sort of mentality, and their children's mentality gets worse and worse and worse. Libby says they remove marketing. That is one way to lower price. I like that. I like that. See, that's what I'm talking about. That people with brains start thinking. I like that. Central Market has 0 membership premium grocery chain. It's the premium hub or heb. I don't know what heb is. The heb, the hib, the hibby, the hibby, the heb, the hub. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know where I was going with that. Let's see. Roy says people love self-service. I hate it. I don't like it. The only self-service I like is at the gas station. But that's just me. That's just me. I don't know. I don't like self-service on everything. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I'm old school like that, I guess. Free market forever. Make your point without including an insult. They don't learn, man. They never lear. They will never learn because they didn't even know how to leer. No, good job, Libby. Libby has 2 positive comments. Now, I'm not gonna judge you completely. The name Libby sounds like you're a liberal. But I'm glad to see that both of those comments that you made were actually something that we can talk about. Not like these little leaptards that come in here acting like jackasses, and then they wonder why I cussed them out. Randy says, check your blinker fluid. Who blocked that? Did somebody block that? That's nothing right. That's a funny thing, bro. Unfortunately, what you remind me of was that song from Will Smith. You saw my blinker, bitch. How many remember that song, bro? Oh man. Yeah, come on. Randy's got the comment, man. He's got the pen. People flood the Aldi markets. Elizabeth. Oh, okay. That sounds great. That sounds fantastic. Okay, Libby. I love your name, Libby, because it doesn't stand for what I thought it stands. It's a beautiful name. I love it. Now, what is it with the picture of what is that? Oh my God, what is that group called? What is that group called? I can't remember what the hell that group is, but beautiful women in the group. I can't remember what it was. But anyways, guys, come on. Call me in. Tell me. Listen, this is good news for New York. This is good news for New York. You know, the Aldi market. Listen, if they're finding ways, okay, if they're finding ways to lower cost and the people respond, do it. I'll tell you what I've seen. You know, the grocery stores here in Washington State, stores like Albertsons, they're out of business. Fred Meyer or Kroger, out of business. Safeway, hanging in there by a thread. I think they might be going out of business. I don't want to make up stuff, but that's just how it looks like when I go to the Safeway. Now, I'm going to tell you this, okay? I'm going to tell you this. What is it that we look at when we go into a grocery store? Okay, so we want plenty of parking space, right? Plenty of parking space, free parking space. That costs money. Property taxes, raise the cost. But let's just say this. Let me just tell you what I see. Okay, so free parking, plenty of free parking to go into a supermarket, into a grocery store. I have the aisle right? The area where all the vegetables and fruits are, everything is fresh, everything is arranged, is clean, looks good, right? Everything in whole, mangoes, watermelons, melons, etc. You got the cilantro, you got the, sorry guys, all the vegetable names are in Spanish. You have el perejil, tomates, pepinos, cebollas, and, cucumbers, onions. I have to say it out in Spanish first. Sometimes I have to say it in Spanish, but you have all this fresh stuff, and they have a little bit of cold water kind of sprinkling on them and just kind of keeping them fresh. And everything is organized accordingly. And then you have the trays of fruits, right, that are cut up. You pay more for those. You can get the watermelon for half the price and get more watermelon. Or you can pay more for something that's already been chopped up. But the point is, everything is accordingly, right? Everything is nice and neat, clean, blah, blah. Hey, sir, where can I get this? You have the extra employees walking around the aisles, making sure everything is looking beautiful and organized so that people can see the product better, etc. Okay? This is what I see in the supermarket. And then you have the cashiers. You got plenty of cashiers, right? You got plenty of cashiers. Everybody is an employee. They're making money. And then you have the bag boys or the bag girls, right? And then they help, bag the groceries for the customers, just like Roy was saying, right? Old people, sometimes they need some help, putting, the groceries in the bags, right? That's customer service, And then you have the same workers to go out in the parking lot, making sure all the carts are, they're stacked so that people can use them and there's no inconvenience of, oh my God, I can't find the cart, etc. You have employees for all of these departments. All of these things are stacked accordingly, is clean, you know what I'm saying? Maintenance, all this stuff. It costs money. It costs money. So if they got rid of the parking lot, at least half of it, right? They can probably save some money. Now, this is what I have seen that has been happening due to rise of taxes. Excise tax. I showed you my excise tax on my tabs. Ridiculous. Bruh, $575 excise tax on my tabs. I don't want to go too far on this, but I thought my tabs were going to be a lot less because they charge you this tax on the value of the car, right? That's why the taxes are this much, because they charge you a percentage of the value of the car. Now, my car has devalued over $25,000, $30,000. This is the problem with made in America vehicles. They devalue so fast. I don't know why. I mean, I do know, but it's hard to explain in one word so that you guys can understand. But maybe one day I'll touch up on it, of why it devalues so fast. But I can get a 2026 same type of vehicle for $20,000 less than what I paid for my vehicle. Let that sink in. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. They'll probably get it back on repairs, but that's another story. I'm telling you, I got all this information, but I can't do all that stuff right now. Let's see. Fred Meyer is owned by Kroger. Washington State has Fred Meyer. Yeah, there's still some Fred Meyers, but here in Evergreen, Everett, they went out of business already. Rush. All those stores thrive on the east side of Washington. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe east of Washington is better than here. Thank you, sis, for that information. Slim Fat Boy, go easy on how you talk to Rush. Okay. That's my sister, and that's our sister, and we love her. So be careful. No, don't disrespect the ladies or the people in the chat. Talk about me, okay? I didn't read an insult that she wrote on there, but talk to me. Don't talk to the chat. Don't be trying to insult or put people to argue with you in the chat. That's not what I want. But anyways, so you expect all of these things to be at the supermarket. Now the government has been raising taxes, excise tax, payroll tax, property tax, etc. So what do I see these companies doing? all of a sudden, now they don't have anybody to bag groceries for the customers. Now I'm starting to see that there's some aisles that are empty. They just don't have the personnel to keep everything stacked or in stock. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the personnel to keep everything stocked daily, all day. They can't afford it. Safeway pays their employees very good. Safeway pays their employees very good. Thank you, Slim. Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, he always insulting here, bro. He never comes in here trying to have a conversation with us. It's just the guy is just completely off the grid. Okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense. Let's see. What else? What do I got? Yeah, Kroger is a union. Yeah, they have a union. Yeah, it used to be called Fred Meyer's here. There's still a Fred Meyer in Linwood. I think it's still there. I haven't driven by to see if it's still there, but I think it's still in Fred Meyer. I'm not sure. But anyways, Albertsons went out of business. They moved locations a couple of times. Didn't work. Safeway seems to be hanging in there quite well. But the point is that, you have to look at it this way. So nobody called in. Just wanted to point that out. Nobody called in. That was their chance. So the point is that you have this supermarket, right, in New York called Aldi Supermarket. People are happy about it. They're rushing, to get in there and get their food because the prices is so much cheaper. I mean, I don't know how much cheaper, but they make it sound like it's very it's worth it to take a drive, out of town to go in and go to the store. So with that being said is this, you have a business people that, well, they know how to make money, obviously. They know what the customers want. And, they found a way to minimize, cost. So they'll probably have less employees. They'll probably have less department management. Like some of you guys in here were saying, right? They have a lot of still in boxes, not sorted out, right? You have to go and buy like that. And I think that that's okay. Listen, if you get what you pay for, you know what I'm saying? So if you like to go out there and say, you know what, I'm the kind of guy that likes to go and see what is good, right? I'm the kind of guy that just wants to see what is good, and I don't mind if nobody sets it up for me. Then okay, I don't care. But I'm the guy. I really am the guy that when I go and look at tomatoes, I don't want to go guess which one is good. I don't want to keep grabbing tomatoes. I want somebody to sort them out. I want the best stuff on top. So there's a price for that, right? There's a price for that. So that's what they're doing is that Aldi, chain stores, they have home delivery, like Amazon, right? They have this home delivery like everybody else, pickup and sorting, all this other stuff. But at the store, it's more like self-service type of thing, and, you pay less for that, I guess. And so that just depends on what you want. I think that I love shopping at Costco because I know what they have. I know what I like. And I know that I can find it fast. And they have a lot of employees at Costco. Think about it. They're selling bulk. They're selling their own product, the Kirkland brand. All right, later, man. Thank you for being with me, brother. I know you. Everybody can. I know you can't be here with me the whole time. I get it. I get it. Who knows? Maybe I'll go to just making videos and less lives if that's what you guys want. But anyways, I think doing lives is something that allows you guys to interact with me, and you can ask me questions. But you want to be a jerk? I'm going to cuss you out. Yeah, Costco or Sam's Club. Sam's Club, there's not one right next to me here. Costco is the closest. So I go to Costco, and the thing is, like, I pay this membership, you know, but I get more money back, and a rebate every year. I get more money back than what I pay for my membership, and I pay $113 for my membership. I don't pay the white card. I pay the black card. Oh, black privilege card. They call it the gold membership, and so I for the money that I get, I get that money back anyway. So technically, I'm not even paying for a membership. But when I go to Costco, it's like, everything is huge. It's this bulk. It has what I want: toilet paper, paper towels, the big paths of beef and meat and stuff like that. Anything you need is there, and the price is good. You can go and spend the price on a month supply at a store for the price of 3 months. You know what I'm saying? That's a big difference. That is a huge difference. So, you got things like, toothpaste and soap and shampoos and things like that. I think they got the best prices, and you get more for your buck. More bang for your buck, so to speak, is what they say. So nobody wanted to talk about Aldi supermarkets because, well, I was going to turn them up a new one anyways, but they got smart. They got smart, and nobody called in. But here is what I was going to say about the Aldi supermarkets. Let me ask you something. Everybody on the left side, notice I didn't call you the name that I love to call you. Everybody on the left side, or the people that disagree with us, they always blame affordability on President Trump. That's why they didn't want to call in. Just want to let you know. They got smart. They didn't want to call in because they have been blaming affordability on Trump. And that's a fact. That's why they didn't want to call in, because they knew that I was going to bring that up. They're not that stupid after all. But anyway, so, and so here's the thing. Here's a grocery store that is selling everything cheaper than other grocery stores. Huh. So it makes me wonder, well, wait a minute. You guys were bitching and complaining about President Trump and that he was making all these prices expensive. Gas prices, food prices. Remember? Remember that, right? All of you people that are being on my channel, you guys remember that. They kept saying that. So I'm confused. I'm confused. If Trump was making prices of groceries very expensive, why is Aldi supermarket doing so good? Especially in a very expensive state like New York. Woo! You're gonna make me lose my cool. Up in here, up in here. It's a great question, isn't it? So I wanted somebody, one of those people that come in here like this guy, ASW, right? You're an idiot. That's his comment. Come on, man. You gotta do better than that, man. Corporations are ripping us off. Pat Jagger, about time you say something of substance. It's about time that you agree with one thing that I've said for the last year. It's common sense, man, and more stuff is going to show up. I'm telling you that right now. When people tell me that I was lying about this fraud in Minnesota, well, now you have it. People are being arrested, being convicted. They're confessing, blah, blah, blah. It's happened here in Seattle, Washington. We told this Seattle socialist Democrat dumbass mayor that her project, it doesn't work. There's no money for it. And you're chasing businesses away, which means that you're even taking more money away from the budget. Hey, where are we at with the budget? Where are we at with the budget? You guys remember that one? You guys remember that joke? I love that joke. The comedian, I don't know. The comedian wasn't really that good. I think he was okay, but that joke made him. You know, he's the guy that answers the spam calls. You know, he one time he decided to answer the phone call, and it was a small business company in New York, and they thought his name was Bruce. And you say, "Hey, Bruce, what's going on?" He said, "Nothing. What's going on with you?" It was like, "Hey, I wanted to talk about you about the budget." He's like, "Yeah, what about the budget?" You know, the guy's just going off with him. He's like, "I'm just going with whatever he says." He's like, "Well, yeah. Well, first it was 15,000. Now it's 10,000. What's going on with that?" He's like, "I don't know. I mean, I told the people from here, blah blah blah, you know, blah blah blah." So he makes this joke, and it was just so funny. I think I will probably look it up. Let me see. I said that I was going to look up a couple of videos, and because I talk so much shit over here, I forgot what the first video was. But I'll see if I remember. Let me see. Random. Let's see if I can. Yeah, okay. So I'll play it. He was on the Jay Larson's Jay Larson's wrong phone number prank. He was on Conan on TBS a long time ago. This is like 14 years ago. And, bro, it's just so funny. I'm going to go ahead and play that joke for you guys so you guys can listen to it. But let me see. But there was another video I wanted to point out. Does anybody remember, if you're being here from the beginning, what was the video that I was going to show you guys? I was going to look it up. But I'll tell you what, I do want to get to the video where they talk about...
Secret Service Team, the Eagle.
No, not this one. Where they talk about our late Lindsey Graham. I think it's crazy what happened with him, but it doesn't matter what we're talking about, man. We got to make sure that we respect those who serve us, the people. With a good heart. And, you know, Lindsey Graham, as far as I know, I think he served in the military. I think it was Air Force. Honestly, I didn't watch the news. I just know Don Mitch sent me a text telling me about it. I heard it. I saw part of it on the news. But I think part of his story is that he served in the Air Force, I think about 12 years, and retired as a colonel. So, you know, he served our country pretty well. And, well, I can tell you that it bothers President Trump. It should bother you. But we don't really know if there was any foul play or not. So we're not going to jump into those type of theories, okay? It is what it is, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Jason. That is true, Jason. Cities, states like California, you know, with governors like Tampon Tim and Newscomb, you know, this people, bro, with even like the whole thing is rotten. The governor, the mayor of the major city, and the attorney generals, dirty motherfuckers. I can't believe how much they get away with. But I'm gonna tell you something. You can only lie for so long. You can lie all the time to some people, but you can't lie all the time to all the people. You remember that song? It was something like that, right? I'm just saying, man. The guy was great. Let's just go ahead and listen to Maria about this, and then we'll switch from this Aldi supermarket subject and switch to another one.
Capitol Hill, longtime South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham has died at the age of 71. Graham's office releasing a brief statement saying, in part, the senator passed away from a brief and sudden illness last night. Graham's passing occurred just hours after he returned from Ukraine, where he met with President Zelensky on Friday. We will have reaction from his colleagues in the Senate when we speak with Utah Senator Mike Lee coming up in a moment. But first, the United States launching a third round of military strikes this past week on Iran. Yesterday, again, after Tehran attacked another commercial ship in the Strait of Hormuz and declared the vital waterway closed to maritime traffic. CENTCOM this morning contradicting that, putting out a statement saying that the Strait of Hormuz is open to all vessels seeking to lawfully transit the international waterway. After saying U.S. forces hit approximately 140 Iranian military targets last night, bringing the total number of targets hit this past week to more than 300 in Iran. President Trump on Wednesday declared the ceasefire effectively over, as administration officials now say a new deal with Iran is increasingly looking unlikely. Meanwhile, Iranians loyal to the brutal regime, or perhaps those who were ordered to do so, chanted and carried banners during the 6-day state funeral for former leader Ali Khamenei, calling for revenge against President Trump and the U.S., a banner reading, "We will kill Trump," amidst new intelligence from Israel indicating Iranian leaders have been plotting to assassinate President Trump. Here's the president at the NATO summit on Wednesday in Turkey.
Everything's gone. Their leaders are gone. They had leaders, they're gone, and they had another set of leaders, they're gone. Now they have another set of leaders, they may be gone. Who knows? And you know what? I may be gone too, because I'm their number one target. It's out all over the place. I'm their number one because they're scum. That's the way they act, and that's the way they've done it for 47 years.
Meanwhile, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush this week praised President Trump, despite years of public disagreements between the two. Jeb Bush said that the president rightly decimated Iran's military and drone production. Bush also warning of the dangers Iran poses to the U.S. homeland, citing reports that roughly 300 Iranian-made Shahed drones are now stationed in Cuba, 90 miles off the coast of Florida. Joining me now with the very latest breaking developments is U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Michael Waltz. Ambassador, thanks very much for being here this morning. And I know that you spoke with Senator Lindsey Graham just a few days ago before he left for Ukraine. Is that right?
It is, Maria. Our hearts break for his family, for his sister, for his nieces. He was a fighter, Maria. He always fought for the troops, fought for South Carolina, and most of all, believed that our freedoms were best defended by showing strength at home and abroad. I know he talked to President Trump regularly, played golf with him regularly, and he has just got such a strong voice in the Senate that's going to be missed. And that peak moment where he buckled everybody's spine to stand up for Justice Kavanaugh, I think was one of the most memorable moments in Senate history.
Absolutely. Probably one of the senator's finest moments when he defended and pursued truth for Justice Kavanaugh. But as you say, he was one of the strongest advocates of peace through strength and a robust military, unwavering support for Israel, certainly supportive of confronting Iran as well.
And served himself. I just remind everyone, 33 years in the Air Force. I first met him. He would do his reserve duty as a senator. He would put on the uniform and go down range, train Afghan JAG officers. But really what he wanted was to bring ground truth back to his legislating. And that was just one of the things that made him so effective.
A true patriot, 33 years in the armed forces, as well as all of that time in Congress, first in the House and then in the Senate. How did things change with regard to the agenda on foreign policy with Lindsey Graham's voice gone?
Well, if you remember the old Representative Charlie Wilson, way back in the 80s, who was an appropriator, and where Lindsey was so effective was it wasn't just a bunch of rhetoric or white papers. He actually put funding behind some of these initiatives, but first and foremost, he put funding behind our troops. If we're going to ask them to go down range and to stand on that wall, then they need to have the best training, the best equipment, and to dominate our adversaries. He just had such moral clarity on right and wrong, who was against us, who was with us, stand with our allies, and make our enemies fear us. And that was a constant message to the American people and certainly to the president and those around him.
Yeah, and he would use this program and other media opportunities to speak with friends and rivals. He would say, to my friends in the Democrat Party, to the mullahs in Iran, and he would make his messages and use the media effectively for that. So let me pivot to the latest on Iran, because I know that there was another night of fighting overnight. What can you tell us in terms of where we are in this war?
Well, the president was always clear that this MOU was performance-based, that he wasn't just going to be absolutely wedded to a deal no matter what, that Iran had to live up to its end of the bargain. It continues to violate basic tenets of international law that we deal with here at the United Nations. You can't throw sea mines in international waterways. You can't just indiscriminately attack civilian shipping if you don't get your way. You can't hold the world's economy hostage. The president's not going to stand for it. And he made that very clear. There'll be consequences if Iran continues to not only violate the deal, but as I said, international law. Meanwhile, Maria, it's worth noting that technical negotiations around the nuclear program, President Trump has always been most focused on that, are continuing. In terms of inspections, in terms of what to do with the highly enriched uranium, the enrichment program. Those pieces are continuing, but we are not going to stand for these attacks on civilian ships. The President Trump has hit back. He's hit back proportionally. But at the end of the day, Iran is going to pay the price.
Yeah, and the president is threatening consequences should the Strait of Hormuz not be open. There seems to be a struggle over the Strait of Hormuz becoming the #1 flashpoint here. Is it open or not?
Oh, it's open, as Central Command has said, and most of the targets that we've hit the last several nights have been directly aimed at Iran's radars, sensors, drones, and missile batteries right there on the strait to eliminate and degrade their ability to attack the global economy. So we're going to take that leverage off the table. Our great military and Pete Hegseth continue to do that. But at the same time, let's not forget, we have more talks going on in Lebanon. We're taking that off the table, too, for the first time, perhaps ever. The Israeli government, the Lebanese government are working together to eliminate and disarm Iran's proxy Hezbollah. We've completely flipped the script there. We're taking the leverage off the table in terms of the Straits of Hormuz. The negotiations are continuing on the nuclear program. And oh, by the way, Maria, oil prices are the same as they were pre-war. Our energy department and Secretary Scott Bessent, by the way, is doing a phenomenal job. Just sanctioned the Ayatollah's money man, who's running a global luxury real estate empire around the world. We're turning the screws on the economy, and President Trump will ensure Iran never has a nuke.
What can you do from your role at the UN as we also now take a look at Cuba with regard to these missiles and equipment that are Iranian-made in Cuba?
Well, Cuba for years has used the UN, and all of these countries and the UN bureaucracy just buy into it as a propaganda platform to paint itself as the victim. And the reason its people are in the dark and suffering and starving is because of the United States, what they call a blockade. And no more. Secretary Rubio's not going to stand for it. I'm not going to stand for it, and certainly not President Trump. We called out their lies and hypocrisy and pointed out their corruption. Castro's private island, Maria. You know, their people don't have any fuel, but yet the Castro private jet has enough gas to fly the regime elites around the world, living high on the hog, going to their private island. Once again, you have communist elites living in luxury while their people are starving. The Cuban foreign minister got so mad at hearing this, he banged his translation device on the table to the point where it broke. I reminded him, you're not in Havana. This isn't communism. This is United States of America. And I'm sorry if you get upset at hearing the ground truths, or hearing hard truths, I should say.
Yeah, good for you. Ambassador, what about what's coming out of New York? I mean, you're in New York right now. A senior official in the New York City mayor's office planned to meet with Iran's ambassador to the United Nations before the State Department shut it down. Can you tell us what happened?
It's absolutely outrageous. This international affairs commissioner that Mamdani hired, very close to him, was reaching out to what she called like-mindeds. Iran, Cuba, who knows who else. The department stepped in and said, absolutely not. They canceled the meeting at the last minute. It would have been a huge propaganda victory for the Ayatollah in the middle of a conflict, as they're not only shooting at Americans, but they're shooting at global shipping. And we're doing everything we can to keep them internationally isolated. 143 countries have condemned Iran, yet Mayor Mamdani and his staff are trying to meet with Iran right here in New York on American soil. It's outrageous, and we shut it down.
And what is the role here of China? I mean, I think that China is questionable in terms of friend or foe in this whole Iran conflict. What do you know there?
Well, just staying on Cuba and Western Hemisphere for a moment, I'm convinced. I just got back from Haiti, the Dominican Republic, our Southern Command. The story of the second Trump administration, amongst many successes, is going to be reasserting America and the United States in the Western Hemisphere. What's happening, the new elections in Colombia, what's happening in Venezuela, the fact that China and Russia are now on their back foot in our backyard. Keep in mind, they still have intelligence posts, signals collection posts, and military officers in Cuba right off our shores, but they're no longer in Venezuela. They're no longer in South Central America in the way that they were on the march, even in the Panama Canal under the Biden administration and previous administrations. We have to credit Secretary Rubio, the president, Bessent, and the entire team for reasserting the United States right in our own hemisphere.
Absolutely, and we will talk more about China, but you're saying there are still multiple Chinese sites collecting information around our military bases in Cuba.
Both Chinese and Russian. The Cuban regime is not only a threat to its own people, it's a national security threat, and this administration is not going to stand for it any longer.
Ambassador, thank you. Good to see you this morning. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Michael Waltz. Thank you.
Man, we lost a great leader, but I'm sure that we have plenty of Americans to back up in the service. What's crazy is I was rewatching some movies, from war. Not books, just movies. It's a lot faster to watch, but you have to understand history. You have to know some history to know that what's fictional and what's true history in the movie. And even then, when somebody writes history, right, well, you got to take their word for it. But it's interesting how there was a scene that they made when you guys already know this. This is from a movie called Midway. This is the attack on Pearl Harbor. This is not to be confused with the movie Pearl Harbor, with Ben Affleck, which I think was phenomenal, by the way. But Midway kind of showed a face on both sides, the Japanese and the American side. Hey, Cap, how are you? How are you doing, Pitt? How are you? Good to see you guys in here. Anybody coming in here, thank you for joining. You're welcome. Welcome to the Dennis Herrera Show. But I was watching this part, and there was a couple of like all the pilots, all the American pilots. Yeah, you have to, man. The reason why it's so beautiful to me is because I understand how 250 years has made this country great. So when you acknowledge that, it's because you know the Native American history. You know the settlements, the settlers. You know how migrants. You know how this. You know how the war. You know how that. You grab all of this knowledge, and here you are watching history. Now, Midway was more on real history, right? They actually show you the pictures of the actual admirals and, the pilots and stuff like that were actually represented in the movie. and I think that it was fantastic. But there's a part where the pilots are coming down, straight above the ships, right? The aircraft carriers, and you see all these, all the bullets, right? All these shots coming in from the ships, and some of them get destroyed, and they land on the side, and some of them were actually kamikazes. They were aiming to go and hit the ship. Like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna take some of them with me, right? And so you can see the planes, coming right at the ship, and then you can see the Japanese, naval leaders, and they're looking like, what the hell are they doing? Like, they can't believe that an American was actually courageous enough to be fearful and yet move forward with the goal of destroying our enemy. And I was just, man, I'm into this movie, and I got teary eyes in some scenes, when I see the soldiers being, hit and blah, blah, blah. But here is part of the scene that I find very interesting. And one of the admiral was telling the captain, I think that's the positions. Don't quote me with the positions. But he was like, can you believe that? And he says, oh, no, his controls must have gotten stuck. The Americans are cowards. They're not that courageous. Now, I know it's just a movie, but it also reminds me of why our enemies attack us. They attack us, and they attack those nations whom they believe to be less or cowards. They attack the nations that they believe they are supreme over. Okay? Now, we are supreme over very many nations, but we don't enslave people. We don't oppress people. We free people. We give them an opportunity to prosper. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between us and other big nations. So, and I'm watching the movie, and, man, God bless America. God bless America. I am a horrible person at talking about this kind of temple because I just get emotional with it. But I'm going to have to practice on this so that I don't get too emotional with things. But what's crazy is this? It's that when you look at this, you hear people with Italian accents, some European accents. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear the Americans, they all have like this New Yorker accent, the Brooklyn accent, the Texan accents and all. You get all these Americans. They come from different backgrounds. Irish, Scottish, England, Spain, Italy, France, And so you have, this is the United States of America. This is where all these ethnicities, all these cultures live in. And they have assimilated into building an American Western culture. And I think it's so phenomenal. But there is this pilot that, he's just crazy. Like he has a wife, he has a daughter that he can't wait to go home to. And he is out there and he's fighting this war with such courage, almost like he doesn't care if he lives or not. Of course he does. He wants to go back to his family. But you know what? He fought every single time as if it was the last time that he was going to fight. And one of his mates told him, "You're a crazy cowboy," something like that, right? "You're crazy. This is not how you do this, blah, blah, blah." And then he found himself in a situation where he had to do some cowboy shit. So when they went and did the mission, they went back and he's like, "Hey, that was some crazy cowboy shit that you did over there, right?" Now, that's probably not what he said. You got to look it up. Look it up. Midway. Great movie, okay? But the thing is, that's some crazy things. The things that he said that he shouldn't do in the military, blah, blah, blah. And he says, well, sometimes you have to. And he changed his mind and says, you know what? Because of Americans that fight the way that he does is the reason why we win this war. Think about that. And then you have the the reality check, right? He goes in, and a lot of the prime pilots shot down, killed, missing in action, etc. He gets promoted to a higher position. Now he's going to be leading his own squadron. And he goes in there, and they all look 17, 18 years old. And he just like, they just keep getting younger. That's the reality check. But you know what? All of these youngsters, you know what they had? Patriotism. They were afraid. They were unsure. But they went up in the air again to fight for their countrymen, to fight for this country, to be what it is today. We don't let our enemies punk us around. See, a lot of people that don't understand, they say Iran won the war. They root for Iran. But they don't realize they are fighting on the enemy side. You don't root for the enemy. You root for our warriors. You root for our soldiers. It doesn't matter what the odds are against them. We support our military. 100%. The Japanese were crazy back then. They killed over 250,000 Chinese because they helped some of our boys that crash landed and went through their villages. We don't do that. We don't do that. Today, Iran kills 45,000 of their own people simply because they support the United States of America. History. You see that? History. It's repeating itself. And we're either going to be on the side that's going to fight for America and hopefully give our children another 250 years of greatness. That, my friends, is the goal. That is the goal of society. I'm waiting for President Trump. He's going to participate in a Freedom 250 Grand Prix showcase. I don't know how long that's going to go for, but I'm going to go ahead and put it here on the screen so you guys can watch it with me. And we're just going to keep it on a small corner, just so that when it starts, we can go ahead and get to it. Okay? Yeah. And then, of course, I'm going to go ahead and put in our fireworks. I love my fireworks. We'll put it like that. All right. That way we can, we can just kind of monitor when it does come live. But I want you to go ahead and focus on that. You know, you gotta read history, and then watch the movies. You know, if you need pictures, watch the movies. But listen to how history aligns. We don't like war because you know how horrible it is. You know why I don't like fighting? I don't like fighting. I get too violent. I remember the last time that I said that I wasn't going to fight. Unless I really, really have to fight. Man, I beat this guy up so bad. I almost killed him. He went to the hospital and we became friends after it, but I didn't like the feeling, you know, of just beating the shit out of somebody. I mean, he was being a jerk and he needed a beating, but not that bad. And I said that day, you know what? No, I don't like the way that felt. I don't like to feel like I'm not in control of myself. And that's why I don't like fighting. And that's, when these libtards come in and start insulting me and doing this, yeah, I cuss them out. But I'd rather cuss them out than to get violent with them. How many times have I gotten an argument on the street? Like, hey, bro, I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight. And they keep arguing and arguing. I have my gun with me at all times. You guys know this. And I always just like, hey, man, I don't want to have any fights. Just leave it at that. And I walk away. I don't want to pull out my gun. You pull out a gun, you better use it. And so I think arguments is not a reason for you to pull a gun on anybody. But if your life is being threatened, I mean, you got to defend yourself. But anyway, so I'm watching this, midway movie, and I already know the history, and I get teary with movies like this, but, I'm remembering my time at Pearl Harbor, when I was down there in Hawaii just a few weeks ago, right? Maybe a month ago now. And you guys who were with me on the live, you saw me. And I apologize to you guys live because I was crying like a little kid, man. Like I'm here reading. I don't understand why I'm like that. I'm too damn sensitive, too damn spiritually sensitive. I'm reading all of this, how they got attacked, what they were doing, and just hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people just died because of the stupid attack from Japan. This is why people laugh when President Trump told the Japanese, president or prime minister, whatever her position is, Japan knows about surprises, don't they? Talking about Pearl Harbor. We don't forget. Don't think Trump is a fool. We know the history. I guarantee you Trump knows history. One of the things that I liked about Trump, I never thought he was a handsome guy. So sorry, Mr. Trump, if I'm not gay, so that's my excuse. I never thought that Trump was a handsome guy. Yeah, he might be rich and women think he's handsome because he's rich, but I'm not into that. But I'm going to tell you one thing that I have always admired about Trump. It's not that he was a business guy. That's right. Japan does love Trump. Oh, okay. I think we're here. We're live. Okay, I think.
26th winner of the Indianapolis 500, Felix Rosenquist.
Now, that's their audio. That's not my audio. I'm not. Excuse me. That's their audio. That's not me blocking the audio. Maybe they're doing it for the music. I don't know. But anyway, this is their live event right now. Maybe it was meant for my story to be trunked. But anyways, what I really loved about Trump in the 90s, he will talk about history, about things that have been happening to our country. And as a businessman, of course, he kept in touch with the stock market and all this stuff, right? But he kept talking about how China is ripping us off, how we are allowing our manufacturers to go overseas. That's our money. That is our money flying overseas. Even if you don't agree with me on this, I can tell you, China build mega projects because they're receiving so much money from one of the largest markets in the world, and that is the United States of America. They made trillions while we lost trillions. Let that sink in for a second. Let it marinate a little bit. There's no audio coming from them, okay? Hi, Tanya. How are you, sis? I'm glad there's no audio from them because that way I can just say hello to you guys without interrupting the live. We're just monitoring whatever they're going to show. But you know what? But that's one thing that I love about Trump. And he really loves America, the United States of America. And a lot of people don't. Man, you know, the Chinese, I mean, the Chinese. People these countries that are tyrannical. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Good to see you. Andy in the house. Hey, good to see you, Shah. Let's see, Valkyrie, they used American dollars to fund their secret projects while they pretend to go green. Yeah, absolutely. They were the filthiest sons of bitches, weren't they? But they're really spraying their mountainsides with green paint. That's funny, dude. That is funny. That is funny. Thank you for that, Val. Let's see. Carl loves America. Man, Carl, and I love you for loving America. Thank you for doing that. A lot of my native brothers agree. America is the greatest country on earth, and we should protect it. We shouldn't take our history for granted, but we should learn it and see where we are today. And don't be like those people who always look at the negative side of it and resentful, and, you know, they subconsciously become the people that they hate, you know, but they don't see it. They don't know it. You know, I see this like, you know, I don't know. Let's not, I don't want to get into the whole racial thing, but, you know, in war, Iran thinks that we are cowards. Just so you know, Muslims think that we Americans, and when we say Americans, you guys know who Americans are. Hispanics, Caucasians, Europeans, Asians, anybody that has become an American citizen. It is a true American, especially when they love this country, when they respect it, and want this country to be the greatest country there's ever been on earth. Right now, we are that country. They want to keep it that way, and they agree with me. They agree with me that we want this country to stay great for our children's children and their children. You know, what's crazy is that people that come in and, you know, from foreign countries, you know what, Slim? You beat me to it. I was just about to say that, but I saw the chat. Yep, foreign countries buying up real estate in the USA should be illegal. 100%. I agree with that. I've said that before. And I think that there should be some law that gets passed about that. I agree with you 100%. You know, there's third world countries like the Philippines. They don't allow you. Yeah, they don't allow you to buy land unless you are Filipino. Isn't that crazy? You know why? Because they're not stupid. They're not stupid. I think, Slim, that's probably the best comment that you've ever made on my channel, because I agree with that 100%. Not because I say it or you say it, but because it's a legitimate concern. Our enemies should never own our land. That's the craziest thing. Now, if that is due to capitalism, I will go against capitalism on that behalf. But I feel, now this is just me. Okay, I'm hearing some sound, but not much. Now, that sound thus demonetized my channel, so we're not going to play that sound, but I'll try to give you guys the best view of it, okay? Here we go. We'll keep talking about foreigners owning our land.
Honor. And we have that great music. We love great music.
Before he starts, he said, good gym song. Jason, before we continue with the real life and lifetime right now, when I was in high school working out, the liptards were on the side, sitting down the whole time. We were lifting weights, pumping iron, going through all the pain to gain the muscle. And they were over there sitting, the liptard men with the manginas, sitting with the girls, talking about gossip. Unbelievable. True story.
We have Roger with me, 120 Indianapolis 500s. That's not bad. He was given the Presidential Medal of Freedom by me when he won 17, and he just kept winning. It's not supposed to work that way, right? We thought he stopped, but he won, and he's amazing. He's been my friend for a long time, but I'm thrilled to be here with some of the most extraordinary figures in the history of motorsports and any sport. If you think about it, as we count down to the Freedom 250 Grand Prix, this will be like no other race ever. I don't think anything will ever top what we're going to be having. It just happened with UFC. It got the highest ratings of any fight in history. This will get the highest ratings of any such race. It'll be one of the most unforgettable racing events the world has ever seen. And we have the most talented people. These people have a lot of courage on my right. I don't want to do what they did. You could teach me, but it still takes something special, right? Gilbert, I know every one of you. What a great job you've done. I want to thank Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duff, who's a phenomenal guy. He's doing a great job. Doing a great job. And the very, very legendary Roger Penske, who is, there's nobody like him, I can't imagine, in the history of racing or maybe any other sport, to be honest with you. Roger Penske, the president of Penske Corporation. Bud Denker, I want to introduce Bud. Thank you very much, Bud. What a great job. CEO of Fox Sports, Eric Shanks. Thank you very much, Eric. He's going to get a lot of rating. Are you prepared for this kind of rating? I don't know. It's going to be a big rating you're going to have. The president of General Motors, Mark Royce, and say hello to Mary and everybody. She's a fantastic person. It's a great company. It's a hot company. We just ordered a lot of Escalades for security purposes, and we do a lot of business with General Electric, and they're actually going now in the weapons making business, and I think you do better with that than you did even in the cars. So I want to thank you very much, Mark. And incredible IndyCar drivers, Alex Palou, Felix Rosenquist, and David Malukas. And I've watched all three of you recently do very well. Thank you, very well. Better you than me. I don't want to go 250 miles an hour with a 2 inches separating my car. I don't want to do that. But what you've done was incredible. The last couple of races. Unprecedented events will take place next month right here in our nation's capital on August 22nd and 23rd. It'll be an awesome display of American patriotism and raw horsepower and ingenuity. You're going to see cars at the level that they've never been at before, with cars racing more than 190 miles and even higher than that down Pennsylvania Avenue. It wasn't exactly designed for that, but what Sean Duffy's done with these incredible, brilliant people is really amazing. It's going to be a sight for the ages. It really will be something special. And they're going to go all around the National Mall at speeds that are not quite, if we did that during the regular day, I think people would be put in jail perhaps for the rest of their lives, right? It wasn't supposed to be that way, but it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. And this is the first racing event of its kind in Washington, D.C.'s history, happening as part of our great celebration of the 250th anniversary of American freedom. The American people are invited to come watch this once-in-a-lifetime total event. And Roger and General Motors and Fox and everybody else, I will say, it's free. They thought maybe we could, they get so much money. This is a ticket. You're probably having second thoughts. You said, well, we could have made a fortune. No, it's free, totally free. And it's something they're doing for the country. The country is doing incredibly well. We've never done this well. We're respected all over the world now, and respected like never before. I was telling Roger before, we have $19.2 trillion being invested in the United States of America by other people and countries. No country in the world has ever had anything like that. And plants and factories and Everything's being right now built as we speak, being built all over the country. There's never been any country that's as hot as we are right now. In addition to that, we have the strongest military in the world. You saw that with Venezuela. You're seeing that right now with Iran. For 47 years in a row, they were pushing people around. They're not pushing us around. We're pushing them around. The Penske team held more than 80 meetings in 90 days on Capitol Hill to get this event to happen. This is over a period of years, and nothing happened. And when they came to see, they said when they came to see the president, what are we working at? In about 15 minutes it was done. And we picked a better track. We actually they went into something that was not as good. And, well, they were dealing with Democrats, what can I tell you? But it wasn't as good. And I said to the group, I said, is this the exact track that you want? And they said, you just can't do better than Pennsylvania Avenue when you think of it. And that's going to be the straightaway. It's going to be fantastic. This event is following in the footsteps of that event that I just mentioned, the UFC event, which we hosted. Dana White, who's a fantastic man, what he's done, the great job. And this will be equally as breathtaking. The air show that we're going to have is going to be, along with the car, is going to be something. We did the greatest air show, I think, ever on July 4th. They've never seen planes at that level. It was really quite a time. And then we had an event, and there was rain, and everybody was told to leave. There was lightning, and they didn't leave. And I said, we can't not do it. So we went back. I said, everybody, let's come back. And we ended up, we had 425,000 people when we started. And they were thinking that it was a number much bigger than ever anticipated. And then everybody was told to go home, and I heard about that. I said, no way. So we called them all back. We ended up with 152,000 people. It was actually made hotter. This was made better and hotter by bad weather, believe it or not. I said, I don't care if I have to make the speech at 2 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter. But on our 250th anniversary, America deserves the greatest celebration in the history of our country, in the history of the world. And I think this is it. And this is really a big part of the crescendo. So next month, these exceptional sportsmen, drivers, athletes, they're great athletes. Nobody can do. They're born with something very special. They're born with an ability to press that pedal all the way down to the ground. Most people can't do that. Very few people can, but their beautiful cars are going to make freedom roar. This will be a freedom that's roaring like never before. So I'd like to now just ask Sean Duffy. This guy, Sean, is exceptional. And you know what people don't know? He was the world record in going up logs, going up to the top of these stupid trees. I never saw anything like that. And Sean had, how many years were you the champion of that? 5? For 5 years, he was the world champion. He was a lumberjack. Who the hell knew that about Sean Duffy? And that because I like champions. He was the world champion for 5 years, going up a tree and coming down. He said going up wasn't bad. Coming down was very dangerous. He broke his back a couple of times, little things like that. But he was the world champion at that, climbing the tree for 5 separate times. And, you know, we respect great champions and athletes, so you wouldn't believe it. That's my man. I've known that for a long time. And he's married to Rachel, who's an incredible woman. She's a very big success on television, and we love their family. We love him. So I'd like to ask Sean to say a few words, and then Roger Penske is going to speak. And then we're going to be given a display of how to put tires on a car very quickly. So you're going to have a good time. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Well, first, thank you, Mr. President. As the Secretary of Transportation, lumberjack sports, we used to move logs down rivers, one of the first modes of transportation, so it's fitting. Thank you for the job. But it's great to be here with 2 legends, one legend in presidential history, but another legend, Roger Penske, in motorsports history for this great day. And just a little history that the president mentioned. The Department of Transportation was working with Fox Sports and the Penskes, and Bud Denker was working the Hill, and he had over 80 meetings on the Hill trying to make this event happen, because when you think about America 250, you also think about cars, and when you think about cars, you do think about freedom. This all goes together. And we had some people who were creating problems for us on the Hill. not your team, Mr. President. The other team was creating problems. And so you don't go to the president with a half-baked idea, but we hit a roadblock. And I called Roger. I said, Roger, you got to call the president and tell him about this great idea, and can he move this forward? And the president's right. It was one phone call, and the president said, done. We're gonna celebrate America 250 with an IndyCar race for the first time in the U.S. Capitol. And so I appreciate that, Mr. President, for all you have done to make this event happen. It would not be going on unless we had presidential engagement. And I agree, the UFC fight was remarkable. But America's birthday doesn't end on the 4th of July. Our birthday continues for the coming year. And so to continue to celebrate America 250, it would only make sense that we would do that with this road race. It's going to be August 23rd. The tickets are free. The weather's not going to be 100 degrees in D.C. I'm thinking like 75 maybe in August. My mouth to God's ears. But we hope everyone comes and checks out this race. And it's going to be epic. And to the racers, I got to go around the Indy track at 175 miles an hour. And that felt like it was really fast. These guys are going 200, 250 around the track, true athletes. So to have you all here and to have the cars here is fantastic. And again, just finally, Mr. President, thank you for your leadership. You don't do anything that's small. Everything you do is big. It's huge. It's the best. It's the greatest. Whether it's the UFC fight or an IndyCar race in the Capitol, we appreciate your leadership. America loves you, and thank you for making this happen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and welcome everybody here today. It's an honor for me, Mr. President, to be here and be part of this celebration. When you think about 250 years of this country, it's an amazing time. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to work. And I think we're fortunate to have the most important office in the world give us the green light and then the checkered flag to have this event in August. Think about it. Over 250,000 people signed up to come to this event. And we will be able to accommodate 100,000 each of the 2 days. And it's for free, as the President said. But we're honored. I think it's an opportunity to showcase the technology, the speed, the partnerships, and the athletes that make such a difference. We think about the Indy 500 as an iconic race, but this is going to move right up there next to it as far as we're concerned from the standpoint of the best in the world. So, Mr. President, thank you again for this opportunity, and I think we have a special helmet for you. Am I right, Alex? We do. We hope you will wear that when you're riding around in the Beast, leading the field. Come to the green flag. Again, thank you, sir. Bud Denker.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Secretary Duffy. I also want to thank and recognize Ambassador Crowley over here as well. Monica Crowley, our Ambassador of Protocol, has been a partner of mine in this whole journey. Mayor Bowser, but importantly, the President of the United States. As he mentioned, I was on Capitol Hill for several months and trying to get the race around that racetrack, but you know what? It didn't happen. And things happen for the best, don't they? God shows us to have a different path here, and that path was to bring this race down around the National Mall, Secretary Burgum's support, the mayor's support, and of course, as the President said, within 24 hours of this idea changing onto the city streets, we had an executive order in my inbox to review, and then 4 days later, I was in his office here to sign it. I want to thank Eric Shanks, CEO of Fox Sports. It was Eric Shanks and my idea to bring this vision to our capital, and in 41 short days, you're going to see the remarkable athletes competing for the one and only trophy that they're ever going to possibly see here, and that's the trophy to celebrate our country. Mark Royce from General Motors, these are his beauties out here. This car over here, by the way, has 1,250 horsepower, and this will pace our field to the green flag 41 days from now. So, Mr. President, thank you again for your support. Thank you again for your leadership. Thank you again for your vision. With that, I'm going to have our driver, David Malukas, start that car. You're going to see this amazing pit crew here from Team Penske change 4 tires, fuel, in about 6.5 seconds. Let's see it, guys. What do you think? 41 days from now, Mr. President?
So I want to thank everybody for being here. Our country is great. Our country is strong, powerful, respected again like never before. And I'll see you in 41 days or sooner. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's crazy. It's crazy to see that the left really, you know what? Guys, I'm gonna give them the benefit of doubt. It's not the left. Let's be honest here. We're gonna have a lot of trouble. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Thank you for hitting the like. Thanks for being here with me. Period. If you are new to my channel, I want to welcome you to the Dennis Herrera Show. My name is Dennis, and I am glad that you are here. Please, if you have a question and a comment or something of positivity about America, something that supports the American people, go ahead and put it in the comments below on the chat there, or just laugh at the libtards making dumbass comments being kicked from the chat. Let that be your entertainment for today. Man, that's the fact that somebody can get happy about, an American team doing that is crazy for me. That is crazy to me. I don't understand why. Let me see if I can. Let's see. I want to do something here for you. Hold on. Give me a second. I wonder if I can. Let me see. Yeah, of course you have problems with that.
If you're
This is America. We have a right to.
I want to point something out to you guys, okay? Now, I want you to please pay attention to this because you educated, the poorly educated. Yeah, we love all, the highly, the poorly, everybody. We love everybody. That's what Trump's point is. I want to show you this clip from my Instagram account. Why don't we go through my Instagram feed and let's see if we can get to judge some things that I see on my feed. Now, I don't always look at my Instagram, to be honest. I am more on the YouTube side. Sometimes I rarely check my Facebook or my Instagram, just so you guys know. I like to give my brain a break. I don't like to just, go crazy like I've been doing in the first, 7, 8 months that I started doing this. I think that it's better to take a step back, you know what I'm saying? Get a little break and do these conversations over and over as long as it takes for people to know the truth. But it's good to see that I can give you guys some opinions, I can give you guys some better views, especially when it comes to immigration, things are going on, and a little bit about history and this and that. Some of you guys, most of you guys, if you're American patriots, you guys know a lot about history, probably more than me. But, the point is that I support the United States of America, and I want and wish everybody did the same thing. Okay, with that being said, let me go ahead and set this up for you guys so you can see it. Okay, let's see. Let me put it right there. And let me get back my Gulf of America and my little, whatchamacallit, my little self-advertising that I do for myself here. There we go. There we go. Let's go ahead and look at it that way. Now, I want you to look at this. This is Jake Lang. How many of you on the chat like this guy? How many on the chat like this guy? Now, first of all, it says on there that, first American to burn a Quran outside a mosque. Who liked this guy? I like him. I like him. I like this guy. But let me tell you something. Something that I don't support. Let me put it right about here. Something that I don't support is going out and instigating people for a reaction. I want you to understand something. So, yes, Carl, I believe it. I think he's a patriot. I agree. I like him. But, well, Juan, you don't respect America, so shut the hell up. Let me do the talking. What I don't like is he is out there burning the Quran, okay? I'm against that. I don't like it. I don't want people to burn my American flag. Don't burn the Quran. I have a fat-ass Quran in here next to my Holy Bible, English-Spanish Bible. I'm not over here burning the Quran. Read it. Use it. Use it. Instead of burning Qurans, grab it, read it, and feed them their own poison so that they can wake up from the biggest lie that the Muslims are giving Americans. So let's go ahead and play this.
Not to be taken by mongrels from the third world. This is America.
I mean, it is funny, but I couldn't hold that in, man. I try not to laugh. Yeah, don't do that, guys. Come on, don't do that. Let's see what else we got here on our Instagram. I'm giving you guys access to my Instagram. Honestly, I don't know if this is the actual Instagram that I originally wanted to open up. I think I got like 2 of them, but that's only because I had problems signing in and I had to create a new one. And so that's why I don't use Instagram too much, because I have 2 accounts that I confuse and I don't know where the hell I'm putting all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Man, here we go. Let's go to our next clip.
The New York Times and CNN shared a story with photos of
Trump's fake news exposed. Ouch. What's going on here?
immigrant children in cages. It turns out the photos were from 2014, during the Obama administration. CNN edited a video to make it appear as though Trump impatiently dumped a box of fish food into the water in Japan. The full video showed Trump had simply followed the lead of Japan's prime minister. In December 2018, NBC reported Trump was the first president since 2002 not to visit the troops at Christmas time. But Trump actually left the White House on Christmas to visit troops in Iraq. In November 2019, news.
Let me point something out here before. Let me move out this way a little bit. I want to point something out to you. That girl is overweight. She's fat. But she looks so beautiful, don't she? Look at her name. Her name is God's Daughter 693. God's Daughter 693. What a beautiful young woman. Beautiful young woman. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand that it doesn't matter if you're a model shape, if you're a round shape, if you got a lot of curves, you got too much cellulite, you got too much fat, scars, stretch marks, whatever. Listen, your heart beats anything physical. Just got to be true. That's what I have to say about her. She is such a beautiful young woman right there. Wow. Mwah. And on top of that, of course, she's spreading the truth. She is spreading the truth. Just letting you know where she stands. Not everybody will be fooled. Let me put her above my hat here real quick, just so you can see it. More to love, says Rick. Let's go, baby. Rush Babe says, I'm skinny under my fat. Oh, believe me, girl, under all this fat that you see here, there's a lot of muscle under it. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's continue with the video.
This week falsely reported that President Trump was spending Thanksgiving golfing in Florida. He was actually in Afghanistan serving dinner to U.S. troops. Time incorrectly reported that President Trump had removed the bust statue of Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office. That false news went viral. TMZ reported Trump had changed the name Black History Month to African American History Month, implying the change was racist. In fact, it turns out Presidents Obama, George W. Bush, and Clinton all called Black History Month African American History Month. Also, the Washington Post reported on the cabinet battle over Trump's immigration order. The article was repeatedly updated to note that one of the reported meetings did not actually occur, a conference call did not happen as described in the article, and actions attributed to Trump were actually carried out by his chief of staff. And the New York Times reported on supposed contacts between Trump campaign staff and senior Russian intelligence officials. FBI Director James Comey later testified it was not true.
That report by the New York Times was not true. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, in the main, it was not true.
In May, the BBC and The Guardian reported because Trump wasn't wearing headsets, he didn't bother to listen to the translation of a speech by Italy's prime minister. But Trump was wearing his earpiece in his right ear, as always, said the White House. In June 2017, NBC News reported that Russian President Putin said he had compromising information about Trump. Actually, Putin said the opposite.
Do you have something damaging on our president?
Well, this is just another load of nonsense. Where would we get this information from?
CNN and ABC falsely reported that FBI Director Comey was going to refute Donald Trump's claim that Comey told Trump 3 times he wasn't under investigation. Instead, Comey confirmed Trump's claim under oath.
It appears that you actually volunteered that insurance. Is that correct?
That's correct.
CNN retracted a report claiming Congress was investigating a Russian investment fund with ties to Trump officials. Newsweek reported Poland's First Lady refused to shake Trump's hand, but later acknowledged she did. Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal falsely reported Special Counsel Robert Mueller had subpoenaed Trump's bank records. AP reported a new survey showed trust in the media had fallen during the Trump presidency, but the survey was actually conducted under President Obama. The New York Times and CNN shared a story with photos of immigrant children in cages.
Well, there you go. Not everything that comes through my Instagram feed is garbage. I like that some people out there have some common sense and they try to do, she might not agree with everything that I say, but common sense, it's common sense. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. Inbox. You mean my text? Uh-oh. The wife is checking what's going on here. Oh, boy. All right, give me 12 o'clock. I'll cut it out. And I'll come and get you, okay, baby? All right, my love. I will. Robert, shut up. Robert sent me a picture of his coffee stack. Shut up, Robert. I don't want to hear it. Ugh. I hate it when people make me jealous. Oh, I got an appointment today. I didn't realize what time. Okay, 2:30. Glad the wife said check the phone. All right. Enough about this gorgeous, beautiful young lady with great common sense. All right, my love. I'll get done at 12. So we got 30 minutes left, guys. 30 minutes left. Let's go and continue going through my Instagram feed. We'll try to go through all the commercials really fast. You need to stop the Muslims from politics, man. They got to get out of here, bro. We should have 0 Muslims and no commies in this country. Yeah, babe, Robert sent me a picture of his coffee stack. Bastards over here showing off. Nobody cares, Robert. Nobody cares. I'm a humble man with 1 can of coffee.
This video. This newspaper was published in Iran. It shows the burial of Ali Khamenei, the dictator of Iran. The guy goes through the page and shows that the same pattern is shown on one side of the ceremony and the other side of it. And he says that they haven't even taken the time to change the picture or change the colors of it.
دیگه اینجا اینی بره اینجاست اینجاست این ذره دقیقا رنگشون رو عوض کنید دقیقا رنگ رو عوض کنید.
This video. This newspaper was published in Iran. It shows the burial of Ali Khamenei, the dictator of Iran. The guy goes through the page and shows that the same pattern is shown on one side of the ceremony and the other side of it. And he says that they haven't even taken the time to change the picture or change the colors of it.
That's the information that the libtards like to listen to. I had to hear it twice. I had to hear it twice.
Thank you, Madam President. Dear leftists, it's not many of you in here to discuss genocide committed on Christians in Nigeria, but I've got a question. Who's killing them? Islamists, jihadists, and who let them into Europe? You did, communists. You let them in. People in Europe are dying. People in Europe are killed, beheaded, raped, but not in Poland. Not in Poland because we did not let them in. When you started this madness in 2015, we did not let them in. Not only that, we changed our law. When our soldier was killed with a spear, we changed our law and our soldiers can use live bullets now. So I have a message to all jihadists. Do not come to the Polish border. Do not try to harm any of our soldiers because you will be dead. Shot dead. And mark my words, communists. There will come a day when Christian Europe will rise. There will come a day that we will get rid of communists from the governments. We're going to get rid of jihadists and we're going to make Europe great again. And always remember my motto. Learn from Poland. Be like Poland. Thank you.
I like this. Juan de Jesus says, is he talking about Trump? This guy. Oh, man, it shows you how retarded these people are sometimes. Man, it's crazy. Guys, it's true. Be like Poland. This guy does not care about being politically correct. He just says it like it is. You know, there was a time where I used to see signs. If you trespass, you will get shot. You would get shot. We should have those signs on the border. I agree with Poland. Wow. Crazy.
Zonra Mamdani, New York's first Muslim socialist mayor, said his inaugural address. You know what he said? We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism.
Before she goes on, I don't know what the hell she's going to say, just so you know. Communism is what Zora Mandani wants. Just so that you know, if you are on the left and you didn't know this, individualism, that is freedom. You understand? That is freedom. Now, you know, a lot of my Samoan family might get mad at me for saying this. But in the Samoan culture, you have a socialist sort of tribes, you know, villages. And they're like communists because You only get to speak if the high chief gives you a title so that you may speak. When you don't have individualism, everybody's free to speak, to work, to create their own wealth. They become, if they don't have that freedom, they become communists. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. We got some libtards that became members. All right, guys, don't waste it. Don't waste it. Don't waste the membership. All right? Make it count, guys. Make it count. But I want you to know that they're taking away your freedom. What she just says, it just means that they're taking away your freedom as Americans. Listen, when we say assimilate, this is one of the reasons why we say that. They have actually allowed Muslim communism to come into our government, not just to the country, our government. They are the ones fighting us on every law that we want to pass, on every bill that we want to pass that benefits American citizens. They're the ones fighting us. They're the ones that control the Democratic Party. Communist Muslims. You got to be able to see that. You got to be able to see it. You got to see it. Does that make sense? You're an illegal immigrant, you don't get to say anything. Do you see what I'm saying? Think about it. Everything that we say that is for American citizens, they fight it. Everything that has to do for illegal immigrants, they support it. You know why? Because that way they can scam us of taxpayer dollars to give it to their illegal immigrant people from their countries. It's not just Hispanics. It's not just the Mexicans. It's not just Hondurans like myself. It's not just Salvadorian. It's not just Latinos. It's Chinese, Middle Easterns. They're coming in here and they make babies, they get them in politics, they get into the government, and then they fight every single bill that has to do with American citizens. Even the Constitution. The only reason why the Constitution is being misinterpreted so much by the Judicial Supreme Court is because they have had all these anchor babies, all these foreigners that don't have allegiance, do they care, nor do they care about the United States of America, and they take positions where they can actually make decisions for the people. And we see that this, I know people don't like to hear it. Childbirth from illegal immigrants, foreigners, visitors, tourists, they don't help the United States of America. I wish it did. I wish it did. I wish people would want to be Americans because they want to be part of the American system. What makes us 250 wonderful country. But they don't. They hate us. They're envy of us. They want us to be miserable like they were. They want us to suffer like their ancestors did. But we're not playing that game. We want freedom. We stand for what makes every single one of us free. It's crazy. I know, it's crazy. But let's hear what she has to say, okay? I went on a rant right there, but let's just
Donnie, New York first Muslim socialist mayor, at his inaugural address, you know what he said? We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. What Zohran Mamdani is doing is indirectly quoting previous socialist dictators. Joseph Stalin, the principle of collectivism required that the interests of the individual be subordinate to the interests of the collective. Mao Zedong, the interests of the individual are subordinate to the interests of the collective. collective. Vladimir Lenin, we must combat individualism and instill in the masses the spirit of collectivism. Zoran Mamdani is quoting men that have been responsible for the mass murder and starvation of millions of their own people. I want a socialist Christian, which don't exist, to explain to me Matthew 25. Jesus, what is heaven going to be like? Like a master who gives different amounts of money to his servants. It's not very equal. Doesn't sound like equality. The guy that has the least, you know, the little guy that Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels like to advocate for, God looks at him and says, what have you done with what is mine? Oh, I was scared of you. Do you know that you're kind of harsh? See, I didn't do anything. He says to him, you wicked and lazy servant. You know what Karl Marx would argue? God is unfair because he gave this guy less than he gave the other guy, and that's why he failed in society. You know what the Bible says? There is no room in the kingdom of heaven for lazy, wicked workers. The kingdom of God has no room for socialist ideologies. Zoran Mamdani, New York's first...
Damn! Well, you don't want to take it from me. We'll take it from her. What an amazing young woman that is. What a beautiful, smart, young woman right there. A woman with brains, with conviction, with the truth in her heart. Wow! God bless you. I'm a follow all these people that I'm going through right now that I like. I'm a follow them. They don't have to follow me, but I'm gonna follow them. Man, that is crazy. Oh, wait a minute. Bakerman says, Dennis, Denis. That's how you spell it in French. Denis. You voted for a rapist and a felon. I like that. Please explain. Well, first of all, he's not a rapist. Never been convicted. He's not a felon. All charges have been dropped. 100% acquitted. You see what I'm saying? 100% acquitted of all guilt. So, any other questions? This guy, bro, I can't believe it. I can't believe this guy. I can't believe this guy. Unbelievable. You come in and make that claim, bro. You make that claim like you are very sure about that claim. It's unbelievable that you actually believe what you just wrote. Let me see. President. I already see him as a president. Marco Rubio pledges defense of American sovereignty against the International Criminal Court. Let's take a listen to see what he says about this. Hold on, sir. Let me get you up here on the big screen. And let me turn that up. Here we go, guys.
50 years, Americans have governed ourselves as a free and sovereign people. We choose our own leaders, we determine our own laws, and when we're accused of a crime, we stand for judgment before a jury of our own peers. This is the essential and indispensable feature of our form of government. It is the foundation of our shared way of life. But today, powerful people in faraway places want to take that away from us. They believe that they should be in charge of your laws, of your country, your life. And they don't care whether or not you agree. Halfway across the world, there's an institution that calls itself the International Criminal Court. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. But chances are you don't know the names of its judges, of its prosecutors, or its president. And you shouldn't have to. But as we speak, the ICC and its friends are waging a war against our country, not with bullets or missiles, but with statutes, and compacts, and the force of so-called international law. When the ICC was born 24 years ago, they told us that it was merely a narrow backstop, a global court that would step in to prosecute only the gravest offenses, things like genocide and war crimes, and only when a nation's courts were unable to prosecute them on their own. But the truth is, it was something far more radical and extreme. It was a global tribunal staffed by unelected globalist bureaucrats who claim their power is almost unlimited. The danger of this global court has only continued to grow. Today, it threatens every aspect of our political and legal system. Border Patrol agents removing violent criminals from our country. American Marines risking their lives to defend our homeland. Prosecutors working to dismantle terrorist plots to attack and kill Americans. If we stand idle, all of them would be at the mercy of foreign judges thousands of miles away, facing the constant risk of prosecution and even imprisonment for the so-called crime of defending their own country. The American people never agreed to any of this, and they never will. Read the words of our Declaration of Independence. We fought a revolution against a foreign power, transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses. Independence is our birthright. We will never let foreign bureaucrats take that away from us. This administration will not sit by as the ICC and its allies seek to threaten our people. If they believe they can deprive us of our sovereignty, we will teach them the full meaning of American resolve.
Well, well, well. Well, that's the kind of leadership that I like. It's the kind of leadership that I like to see. I'm going to show you a post that went through my Facebook account. This is from Nick Freitas. A lot of sarcasm from Nick. I love Nick. Yes, he's a Republican, but I love Nick. Nothing wrong with being Republican. I just want to point it out that most people that have common sense, they just happen to be supporting Republicans today. But, well, let's take a listen. First, let me read this post here. In 2016, now, you can go ahead and fact check it if you can find it. 2016, Guy McPherson, a climate change expert scientist and professor from the University of Arizona with a college degree, says that there will not be any humans on the planet by 2026. I don't know about you, but I'm still here. Verily, we're here, but we're here. Due to the effects of climate change. Trust the scientists. Trust science, they say. Trust it. Just trust it. Don't believe in God. Just trust science. Tell us, Nick, what's going on here?
He's right, you know. We didn't listen. And now we're all dead. In fact, we've been dead since January. Thanks a lot, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump's fault. Again, it's always Donald Trump's fault. People should figure that out by now. It's always Donald Trump's fault. Now, in other news, typical Democrats, apparently this is just the way that their little minds think. I'm going to tell you something right now. Pramila Jayapal. Representative Pramila Jayapal accused some of her Democratic colleagues. Man, get ready for this. You guys ready? You guys ready for this? She accused some of her Democratic colleagues of wanting to become Trump light. This was back in July 8th during a fundraising email. Here we go. Let's, okay, go ahead and keep the cookies. Representative Pramila Jayapal, a Democrat from Seattle, is accusing members of her own party of trying to become knockoff Republicans. And she put it in writing in another desperate fundraising email begging supporters for $3. Speaking of $3, put a $3 super chat in there, guys. If the Democrats can do it, so can I. Come on. $3 chats. Let's go. The Wednesday morning email sent under the subject line, "What the Democratic Party is going to have to decide," argues Democrats cannot simply oppose President Donald Trump and must stand for something. Her something, naturally, is Medicare for all. It's a noble cause. Universal child care. We know what happened with that. And living wages for all. Who is making the wages unlivable? Ask yourself that question. Colleagues who decline to run on that agenda are dismissed as imitations of the president they oppose. Wow. What an insult to have common sense. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? What else did you say? Now, guys, this is a post from, I want to give him credit, from Seattle Red 770 AM. This is Jason Rent's show. And he has wrote this post here. I believe it's him. Let's see. Jay Paul accuses her colleagues of becoming Trump-light. When you got common sense, this is why. Okay, if you come into my channel, all right, if you come into my channel, I do love President Trump. I do support him. Is he flawless? No. Does he have a lot of flaws? Yes. Does he talk too much? Yes. So do I. This is why I like him. A lot of people raise false testimonies against him. They raise a lot of false testimonies against me. So I got to like him even more. The man hugs and kisses the American flag as I do. So I got to support him for that. You see what I'm saying? Even the Democrats that are coming into their common sense, there's like a little gear that just doesn't want to click, just doesn't want to click. It's rusted. Somehow this TDS, little grease just kind of fell into one of those gears, and one gear clicked on some of the Democrats. And because now they're starting to believe in common sense for American citizens, all of a sudden, the other socialist Democrat activists, I want to point out, well, they got no brains, and they just can't think for themselves. They have been planted in an ideology, and all they can do is go with that ideology. Even though 250 years of history of the United States of America has taught us of bad history, wars, arguments, differences, racism, prejudice. We have all these different obstacles in our country. 250 years, and today we are the freest nation in the world. We have the most prosperity. We are the most powerful nation in the world. Capitalism has built this country to be what it is today. And somehow these guys think that communism, socialism, Marxism, it is the system, the ideologies that we got to have in this country in order for us to be great. But the reality of it is that these guys are just takers. They're not makers. They don't make anything for the economy. All they do is take. If you ask them, how do you make wealth? They say, just tax the rich. Well, what if there's no tax the rich? What if there's no rich to tax? They cannot create any wealth, and that's how you become a third world country. That's how China laughs at us. That's how Japan laughs at us. That's how Russia laughs at us. Right now, Iran, they're playing like they're tough. Bullshit. They just know that they have enough Muslims in government that they feel comfortable enough to talk shit to the United States of America. But let me remind you of Pearl Harbor. 1942, I believe, was the date. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But it was in the 1940s when Japan thought that Americans were cowards, that they will not stand up against Japan. Well, they found out, didn't they? They fucked up against the United States of America. And when we have presidents like President Trump, that is exactly how we will respond against our enemies who think that we are cowards. Well, let me tell you who's the coward. Cowards are those who do what they don't want to do when they're incorrect, like Muslims. They say that they believe in Muslim, but they don't. They're just afraid. They're just cowards. They're afraid that the Muslims are going to destroy them if they become infidels. But you know what? Let me tell you something. The Christian belief is this: I do not do what I want, but I do what I don't want. I want you to understand the difference between the Muslim and the Christian belief. We want to sin because we are weak in the flesh, but we don't sin. We do what God tells us to do, so we fight it. Muslims, they worship death. They look forward to 92 fake virgins in heaven. They're not going up there. They're going down to hell. There's no virgins down there. Trust me. If it was up to the devil, there is no virgin. I'll tell you that right now. There is no virgin in hell. I guarantee you that. There's no virgins, my friend. There's no virgins. With that being said, and let's continue with this libtard. Yet even now, there are already pundits and some of my colleagues in Congress who want to push to the center, says Jayapal wrote in a fundraising email. They want us to become Trump-light instead of articulating the vision of what we stand for on our own terms, informed by what we see in our conversations and hear on the ground and see in the data. I couldn't disagree more, she added. Consider the actual claim here. Democrats who won't campaign on her wish list are not merely wrong in her telling. They are indistinguishable from Trump. That wish list are not merely wrong in her telling. They are indistinguishable from Trump. Oh, man, that is crazy. That covers most of her caucus and nearly every Democrat who has won a competitive seat in the past decade. It also comes days after she went on CNN to play the generous big tent Democrat. The tent apparently has room for police abolitionists and guys with Nazi tattoos. But a colleague who wants to win a swing district is a MAGA copycat. Oh, boy. All right, here we go. Democrats should be coasting into the midterms against an unpopular incumbent party. Instead, a CNN poll earlier this year put the party's favorability at 28%, a record low. A June NBC News polls gives Democrats a 5-point generic ballot lead, roughly half the margin they held at this point in 2018. Voters keep telling pollsters they have no idea what the party stands for. And Jay Paul's contribution is to publicly declare half her colleagues are actually frauds. The truth shall set you free. They are eating their own, ladies and gentlemen. They are eating their own. And all we can do is celebrate that we have been right about everything. And I mean everything. You know, they come into my channel and they come and hate on my hats, which I will tell you this, I enjoy even more. I love it. To the one patriot that helped me out when I was in Hawaii, I gifted him one of these hats. He loves it. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me tell you something. As I grow, I will grow with you. I will never forget those who stand with me, those who stand for America, those who stand for American values, those who stand with me supporting the American Citizens Constitution. American Constitution does not belong to illegal immigrants. Let me tell you that right now. To allow, Mr. Mike, there you are, to allow foreigners to just poop all over our Constitution and make Americans look retarded. That's stupid. I want American citizens to know how valuable you are, how great you are. You have come so far. You guys are the greatest countrymen anybody can have. And I'm going to tell you something. That should be something that you should be proud of. Democrat Party does not exist. We lost it. Hopefully we get it back. There's nothing wrong with Democrats. But the party that plays Democrat today is not. They are Marxist communists and they want to make the United States of America fail. With that being said, thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you liked the actual background. I will go ahead and continue this talk maybe today. We'll see. I want to show off my night backdrop on Seattle. I'll see you guys on the next one, all right? Thank you all for being here with me. Be blessed. Peace.